Yeah, you hear that? Yeah, that's your computer.
Like he's like, that's your computer. That's not my shit. Can we curse on this?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, we'll just be ourselves. You know?
We be ourselves.
Can we keep it 100, as they say?
We keep it 101.
Guys, kind of.
We're going to do a formal introduction, the Sonic Truth. Today we have Grammy Award-winning mix engineer Benjamin Arrindell from Old Mill Recordings. Let's give it up for my man.
Technically, it's Old Mill Road Recording, but, you know.
Is it Old Mill Road?
Efforts. It's all good.
Hey, I like that.
Yeah, that's the
Now, can you tell us a little bit?
The way.
That's where you're located at. You're in Vermont, is that correct?
Yeah, we're in Vermont.
And can you give us a little roundabout of the room you're in right now?
Yeah, so the room that I am, I don't know if you can get too much of a show of it, but so this room was designed by Fran Manzella. We won Studio of Tech Award for Studio Design in 2020. You could see. So we got the SSL, we got an SSL Duality, Pro Tools HD, small on the gear side, not so much. That's where I'm trying to build gear with Chris, you know, with some new additions, but plenty of plugins, you know. 48 input SSL. Right now I can expand. I've got a 32 IO with another 16 or 8 for links for our interfaces. So we got plenty of IO, and we kind of rock. The main workhorse of the studio, of course, is probably our mic pre's. We have a the 500 series, the API 500 series lunchbox with a bunch of Neves and split with Neves and APIs for mic pre's, and that's pretty much how we rock, you know.
You got any empty slots in your lunchbox?
No, I don't. We need another one. That's part of the dream.
Yeah, that's what happens when you fill one up. Just get another one.
Just fill it and just keep adding more.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
Yo, when you get a chance, you got to check out his V1290. His V1290 that he's got for the preamp, bro.
Right.
Shit, son. I'll tell you. And these golden 58s we're using too.
Yeah, we're using these today as well to talk to.
Yeah, so you'll hear it on the back end. But he was saying, like, you could put the V1290s, like, on your drum bus and even, like, the golden 58 on your stereo bus, bro. And it...
Right.
Man,
right.
Boy, we'd be thumping that.
We're getting into some stuff because I was telling Justin, actually, I don't know. Did I tell you, Chris? You told me to try a couple of things with the decomp and stuff, and I threw it across the drum bus, and it is pretty gnarly. It's very, very gnarly. But I tell you, man, I can't wait for that piece of gear to get back here because I've already got plenty of uses for it, man. Plenty of uses.
Oh yeah, it's really a staple. It's a must. You know, like to have. You don't want to use it all the time, maybe, but like when you use it, it's the right tool. Yeah. Like when you find that, it's just perfect. I was gonna say, going back to your gear and that, I was just on your website. You guys do have a pretty cool, extensive list. And are they gonna do show us your stuff as well?
He's gonna do the show us your stuff where you're gonna walk around. You know, we'll get the footage of the studio, kind of like what we did yesterday.
Oh, you want me to give you a little walk around?
Not at the moment. You do that at your own time.
Yeah.
You know, so you can take time to do it with your phone or what have you.
We'll have another little segment.
Okay, you asked me to send that in for you on some separate stuff. I could do that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if you could, now you ran into Chris at NAMM a couple years back, I believe. Can you run through that? Because we had all worked together back in 2004, was it? 2005? And wow, do we have some great memories from that time. And we'll get into that later in our conversation, especially about ringing the bell at the bar at 3 a.m. doesn't mean it's closing time. It means buy the round for everybody in the bar, right, Ben?
Oh, right. Oh, yeah. Don't ring the bell. Or ring the bell if you want to buy people drinks. It's all good. Ring the bell.
Totally. I can't remember who told you to do that.
Nobody told me to do it. You know what?
Somebody
I think
did.
it was my dyslexia when we walked up to the bar. It just said something about the bell and ringing it. Yeah, and Justin was sitting sitting on my left, I think on my right.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting in front, and I just reached over and went, bing! And then I read it. And then I read the sign.
Yes. And my eyes went.
I was like, fuck it. Whip
I ain't got no money.
Act first, read later, right?
Oh, man. That was great
Oh,
time.
but those were the good times we had. And we shelled up for a week at one of our mutual friends, Dave's house.
Oh, yeah.
In Orlando. We stayed in that hotel for a week.
Yeah.
And I mean, we were literally in the studio that entire week from, 9 a.m. till 9 p.m.
I don't
And we
remember
were
us leaving the studio for that session.
I don't think so either, but maybe 1 or 2 nights, because we were ambitious. We're going to record 10 songs and mix 10 songs.
I remember your mom stopping by and dropping us off some supplies one night.
Some goodies. Yes.
Yeah, that was good. What studio was that?
That was RMP Studios.
RMP?
That used to be owned by, RMP. Used to be owned by Fight Ren.
Right.
Remember Fight? Super cool guy, man. But I don't even know if it's a different studio now.
Yeah, I think it's Real Feel.
Is it Real Feel?
Yeah, they have a bus comp in that. Yeah, they have they have a great staff over there.
He doesn't own it anymore?
No. He ended up selling out a few years back. But it's good to know it's still a studio.
That's cool. That's dope.
Yeah.
That is really dope. Like it was cool. He had enough stuff. He had the which I also brought too. What was that? That Lynx. Remember that the Lynx? What's the CD?
Aurora.
Whatever it is. Like I'm lost on numbers. Like I couldn't tell you anything.
I'm the same way. Acronyms with what model do I have? I have a V10. It sounds great. That's always been my thing. But yeah, I want to talk a little bit, Ben, if you don't mind, a little bit about your previous history as a mix engineer. I still am a mix engineer. I know that. I understand that much. But let's go back some years. When autotune was first introduced as almost an effect rather than for the actual tuning of vocals.
Right.
And there was a record you mixed by KC and JoJo called Crazy, that for anybody who was doing R&B or urban music back in that time, that changed the game, Ben, in terms of producers wanting to add autotune to an entire chorus effect rather than just momentarily like in Cher's song. Can you give us a little bit behind how that came about in that session?
Oh man, I mean, that's so how did we do that? So that's the light, right? So I guess I remember like the light saying, like, he had that song and he was like, just his intent was, I want that Cher sound. I want that, you know what I'm saying? That you know,
do you believe in
that sound? It was just a sound at that time, you know, and it was just known by Cher, right? You know, it was the Cher effect.
She put it on the map.
Yeah, and so back then, that was before Pro Tools. You actually had to use the auto-tune box, the rack mount. Mm-hmm. Right? Like, do you guys remember that? There's an actual...
I remember those, yeah.
I remember it, yeah.
Box? No? Anybody?
Oh, I remember that, yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
the rack.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Just, so they can't see you nodding. But that's kind of what we used. And we had to find somebody who knew how to do it. You know, like, I didn't know how to do that stuff. So, I forget the name of the engine. Oh, Paul Pasco was a guitar player, and he had worked with, you know, he's a famous guitar player, and we, you know, he did the guitars on Crazy. And I think,
oh, really?
I could be mistaken, but he was the one who kind of hooked us up with the guy to give us that sound. And I remember the engineer coming in, like, he was an engineer who just knew how to use the box with MIDI and, like, you know, basically take the vocals. I couldn't even tell you how it worked right now. And I used it before.
Yeah.
I think before on another song. I was telling Justin that another producer
had used it on a
702 record.
That's right, yeah.
No More, whatever the name of that song was. I'm getting really tired and I'm broken and promises. You know what I'm saying? That's all the auto-tune box right there. And the same thing, it was like you had to know somebody who knew how to do it, you know? I'm trying to remember. I'm trying hard to remember, but hold on a second.
Well, that's a long time ago, Ben. That's okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, man, it was, and then I guess afterwards, we had started using Pro Tools and, Pro Tools engineers, and we had done a bunch of work down in Florida also at your guy's studio. Who's the dude that got in sync?
Transcon?
Yeah, Transcon.
Transcontinental?
Yep.
Yeah.
Who was it?
You're talking about the Transcontinental studio, the boy band?
Yeah. You guys are a little low. My this is as loud as this cheap computer goes.
I'm sorry, we'll speak up.
Yeah, we got you.
But what was I saying? Yeah, we started working with we grabbed a couple of, one or two engineers from down there. And Delight had started working and doing all the Pro Tools stuff and that auto-tune stuff, and it kind of took off off of there. But I think that was kind of really the last kind of record that Delight and I had used it on. It was like we didn't really go too crazy on too many other records after that, like using the auto-tune.
Right.
So,
but I mean, that was a staple, Ben, for so many years. That hook, crazy, thinking about you. I mean, every producer would always wonder, even when I first started, how we met through Manual back in '99. They were even questioning, like, how are they getting that effect? How are they? And it was once the software version of it came out,
right?
Then people were able to adapt to that, and they're like, easy. Wow, that's it.
Yeah,
it became convenient. Yeah.
What'd you say, Chris?
Because for the longest,
I said it became convenient.
Right?
Yeah, once it became software.
Because for the longest time there was the hardware piece.
Yes,
and usually it would just collect dust because people didn't know how to hook it up or how to properly use it.
Yeah, man. That was like literally like a black box. Actually, true story, Jennifer Lopez used to use it live. That's how we found exactly. That's how we found out it through Paul Pesco. Paul Pesco was like, that's how Jennifer Lopez is using, like, she would sing live and there'd be a keyboard player playing the notes, playing her melody, what she's singing live, bro. That's how we found out about it.
Unreal.
Yeah.
That's some behind the curtain stuff
that
right
is. Son of a gun. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. That's awesome.
So they used to use the box with her live, and then I think, obviously Cher had picked it up and used it. And it might have been used like one or two other places a couple of times. But it was a box. It was a box in the beginning.
Yeah.
That nobody knew how to use. In fact, the second time that I used it was on that 702 record. And I told her, I was like, yo, it's the box. And I forget the producer's name, Sean. I forget his name. I'd have to, again, like I said, I'd have to go back and get you people's names and stuff, but his name was Sean. I forget his last name, but he figured out how to use it with the MIDI. I was like, it's a MIDI thing, and like he got it to work on those lines, and we just flew the rest of it. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yo, how'd you do it? He was like, he was like, bro, I don't know. We just figured it out with the MIDI, just vocal audio into the joint or some shit. And it just worked. So,
hey, do you remember having to fly how did you fly vocals back in the day? Because I used to fly vocals through the drum machine.
Yep, MPC.
And I'd put it in the sequence, and it would come out, and then we would stem out the 8 outs individually.
Right.
But we would sit there.
Yeah.
Is the timing right? Nope. Cut it again. Cut it again.
Yeah.
That was the only way.
If you were smart, you could sequence it,
Yeah, that's what we did. It was part of our sequence, right? So every time the hook came in, it was there already.
Yeah.
I kind of miss that, but hell, it's so much easier to just copy and paste. Yeah, I know.
That skill set, right?
Yeah, I miss that. But so, what are you going on? What do you got going on up in Vermont, my man? Is it snowing?
Well, yeah. Not right now, but generally, yeah. What's in the forecast? Snow. But it's better when it actually snows because the weather kind of warms up. It gets into the 30s, upper 40s and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's better. Because other than that, the temperature drops. Like a couple of weeks ago, we just had an ice storm up here. It was crazy. It was the end of the world. It was the end of the world because it didn't just take the power out; it took the internet out. So you couldn't.
So everything was. Jesus.
You couldn't call anybody, and it only happened like in my town. you know, and then like one town over. So
right, yeah.
No heat, no hot water, no phone,
no internet,
no internet,
no nothing.
So
that's the end of days right there.
Yeah, you're taking it back to the Stone Age.
Stone Age, bro. It was
Stone Age.
Literal Stone Age.
Unbelievable. Now, can you give us a little bit more? I want to go back to the NAMM when you and Chris linked up and you won the TEC Awards for the studio that you're in, Old Mill Road Recordings. And can you give us a little bit of history of that facility? Because I believe it's almost like a small town, a village, isn't it, Ben?
It's a small. So we're in Arlington, Vermont. Arlington, Vermont is like it's big and it's proper, like it's property, like, you know. It's not like the town is humongous, but the town or the vicinity of Arlington it's fairly large, right, spread, but it's very rural. We sit in between the studio's in between Bennington, Vermont, which is a bigger, not suburb, but, you know, town, if you want to call it, and Manchester, Vermont, which is a more posh, ritzy, upscale, a little bit more upscale. And it's cool. It's quiet. It's quaint. You know, we got a small little post office. You know, not too much happening around. But the idea behind the studio is that it's a destination studio. So we've got a river running right behind the studio. So it's really tranquil. It's really pretty. It's really serene. It's very pretty in the summertime. It's really pretty even in the wintertime, all year round. We did these big windows. I don't know if you can kind of see behind me, but like that's the roof. I mean, that's the window there, and beyond that is the live room, and you could see there's a lot of light coming through there. So the idea was to like open the space up. You know what I mean? Like the natural outside light is so beautiful and so gorgeous. Like, let's just have big windows. Like this window was like kind of my idea. I was like, yo, I want a floor to ceiling window.
Absolutely.
And what's his name's like, okay.
Yo, and isn't the river right outside that window too?
Yeah, so on the other side of the studio, you know, that's the live room right behind us. And on the other side of the window, we've got we made a little walkway that you can walk from one end of the property all the way up to the other end. I'll send you some pictures and some videos like you want. And then you know, on beyond that, but we had so it's basically we built a retaining wall for the river. So there's a path on the side of the building that's actually a retaining water in the rivers below, because I forget 2013 or 14, it was Katrina or whatever flood. And it flooded. Right? It flooded really bad up here. So that was a part of the rehab of the building. So before we even started construction, the building itself needed rehab. Like the floors was lisping, and this building was built in the. It's over 200 years old. It was built back in the Revolution it was like one of the very first buildings, you know, built. You know, in the Americas, and you know,
that's really neat. Yeah.
What the building on the other side of us, man, I'll send you some pictures. We call the mill, and it's actually a grist mill. It's the very first grist mill that was commissioned by the king when the settlers had come over here. It's this town is extreme. So it goes back to the Civil War. No, beyond it goes back to the Revolutionary War. Excuse me. Like the buildings itself,
I didn't know the history.
The town itself has a lot of history. So I don't know if you're into the Revolutionary Wars, but the Tories were the English, and then the Baker brothers, not the Baker brothers. God, I'm fucking up my history. But anyway, a lot of history, a lot of like Revolutionary War history in the area, and the buildings themselves. This building is what do you call that when you commemorated, meaning you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like an antique vehicle. It goes within a certain.
You can't change
it's a historic place.
It's a historical building. It's you know what I'm saying? So it's got the plaque on the front and everything. And so
that's cool.
So
as shit.
A lot of history in this town and a lot of history in the area.
So it has that vibe almost that people want to,
right. Right.
trying to recreate that vibe that everybody used to have back in all throughout the years of recording. You know, let's go to Memphis, let's go to Detroit, let's go to Vermont. I mean, I've seen the pictures. You know, I mean,
yeah, I have a feeling the pictures don't even do it justice, though.
I don't think so
like,
either.
You can go online and see on their website some pictures too, and you can just tell it's one of those places you have to be there.
And don't you have living quarters that your guests can?
Exactly. So the studio is billed as a destination recording studio. So we have artist housing for the artists when they come to stay. The studio has a full shower, full. I showed you before. You know what I'm saying? Full dressing room. You know, we got the mirrors in the. I don't know if you've seen it in the bathroom, so that you know, because we've done a bunch of sessions where people come and they do videos here. You know, they do videos for the scenery. They input the scenery as a part of their video and stuff, and they do in studio videos and stuff. So full dressing room, full shower, artist quarters, catering. You know, we try to like throw the works at it. You know what I mean? It's not just about the gear, because the studio. I mean. We put it together, we put it together with just enough gear so that we can build upon it, you know.
Yeah.
But a lot of funding had to go other places also. So, you know, it was like give and take, kind of, you know. We tried to put a lot into like amenities, you know what I mean, like kind of a concierge service, you know what I mean, like.
Yeah.
Like if it were the Hit Factory, if the Hit Factory had hotels, you know, type idea.
True.
That's the idea.
I like it.
And then in a setting like this, you know, in this rural setting, which is very peaceful, very tranquil, you know, where you can come in, just plus, you know, it's you could smoke weed here. It's Vermont,
right? I love it.
It's about the experience,
it is.
you know, and you hit on something.
They don't call it the Green Mountain State for nothing.
And you know, he hit on something actually that's really important. It isn't all about the gear. It is about the experience. You can, you know, sometimes I tell people, you know, people have done a lot more with a lot less gear.
That's true.
Right.
So I think that's, you guys are building your castle on rock over there, you know, with the way you're approaching it, from just being well-rounded in every area.
Trying to,
you know.
I love that analogy, castle on a rock.
You know,
I like that. It's great, man. Well, hey, Ben, I'm going to pass you off now. We got Trevor here who's going to ask you some bizarro questions.